Balancing a job while trying to be a day trader is not an easy task.
It's 12 o'clock already? Shit, I'm gonna be late.
While it might not be easy, it's the reality that many of us traders face. Trust me, I know the struggle. It feels like there aren't enough hours in the day. It feels like you're never going to be able to get the energy that you need to actually do the work that's required to be a trader. Because trading requires a lot of work. You're going to come home from work and you're going to feel like, oh, I'm so tired. I had such a long day. But if you're a trader, one of the things you need to be doing is at least some form of education. You should be doing back testing. If you're not a profitable trader, there's some work you should be doing. And if you're avoiding that because you had a long day at work, that's a problem. And another way it could affect you is, let's say you're waking up in the morning and you're saying, oh, well, I had such a long day at work yesterday. I'm so tired. I got all this stuff in my mind. I just don't want to trade this morning. If you're missing out on any of your trading hours, or if you're coming to the charts with not the proper mindset. So let's say if you had 4 hours of sleep because you were up late last night because of your job, you're still not coming to the charts properly. So in this video, I'm going to give you all the tips that I've learned from the over 2 years I've been balancing these two things. I think I've become great at it with all this experience. So I'm going to tell you all the tips that I've learned. And in addition to that, I'm going to take you with me through 2 days so you can see exactly like how on a day-to-day I balance these things. So let's get right into it. Being that I've been balancing my part-time job and trading for a long time, I think I have some great tips on how to do so. So I'm going to go over those right now. So my first tip is you need to determine what hours you're actually going to be available to trade. So you have to be very clear on that. So like, let's say your job has varying hours. That will make things a little more tough because you want to determine what hours you're going to trade and then find a strategy that's going to work during those trading hours. So let's say you determine you can only trade London session. It wouldn't make any sense if you become a master of a strategy that only works during New York session when you're going to be trading London session. And then if you're going to be trading both sessions, you have to make sure your strategy works during each session that you're trading. But you have to be very clear on what hours you're trading. And then also, once you determine what hours you're trading, you have to treat it like a job. Because when you're going to your 9 to 5 job, you're not going to be late. And if you are late, there's going to be a price to pay. There's going to be points. There's going to be something like your manager might give you a hard time. There's going to be some negative thing that's going to happen to you. But if you're a trader, you're really your own boss. No one's going to be there to be like, hey, you didn't make the right decision today. You need to be the person that's going to do that for yourself. Because when you're self-employed, you really are your own boss. And then also another tip I have is whenever you have time outside of your job, and you really just have to maximize it the most you can. Because let's say like today, for example, I spent a bunch of time trading and tomorrow I have to go to work. I could think, oh, I got to rest up for my job. I mean, yeah, you should rest up. Sleep's important, but I also need to put that work in, because if I just keep using the excuse of, oh, I'm really tired, or oh, I've had a hard week, or I've had a hard week from trading, or I've had a hard week from my job, or this is going on in my life, or just whatever excuse you can think of, when it comes down to it, you have to put in the work. You can't just keep putting it off. And those little, like I'm going to say later in the video, I'm going to go over this again, those little things that you when it's 8 o'clock and you're like, am I done for the day? You can go in and do a little bit more work. And that little bit more work is going to give you exponentially more returns than what you put in. And lastly, my last point is just make sure you take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is very important as a trader. I know I previously just said you have to make sure you're putting in as much work as you possibly can, but at the same time, you do have to remember you are human and you have limits. So I know these people on social media love to preach like, oh, you should be putting in so much work that you guarantee that you're gonna get this result, or you need to outwork your competition. I'm putting in 10-hour days in trading. People say stuff like that. And while it's respectable, it's going to get the results done. You do need to not beat yourself up too crazy. Because let's say if I spent 15 hours backtesting yesterday, I have 3 hours of sleep. Do you really expect me to come to the markets with a clear mind? And be able to actually trade in the manner that I need to trade? That's not going to happen. When you come to the charts, if you're going to be risking money, or propfirm capital, or trading with something that matters, you want to make sure that you're coming to the charts with proper nutrition. You need to make sure you're eating well, so your mind's functioning properly, and you also need to make sure you're rested properly. Just your body's functioning at optimal capacity. You don't want to be out of it. So yeah, those are my tips. If you have any tips, For other traders, I'd love to hear them in the comments, but now we're just going to get into my days. So first, we're going to go over a day, what it's like when I'm not working. And then after that, we're going to go through a day of what it's like when I am working on my job. So let's get into the day where I'm not working. So today is Tuesday, January 14th. It's a day I do not have to go to work, so I'm going to show you what a day is like when I do not work. So I woke up a little bit after 6 a.m. I just got to the gym. It's a little before 7 a.m. I got to work out real quick. And the reason I got to be quick is because I actually want to be home at 8:30 because today the PPI comes out, the Producer Price Index, and I want to trade that. So I got to be home by 8:30. It's not going to take me too long to get home, so I have a little bit over an hour to work out. So I'm about to go do that. Right now, we're going to watch the release of the PPI. See, we're looking at the NASDAQ. It just came out, right? You see that? So that's a huge economic data release right there. So what I'm going to wait is, what I'm looking for is eventually we might come back down and leave a wick at the top of this candle. I'm going to target that wick if we leave one. Let's see how this plays out. So this strategy that I'm referring to, where I'm targeting data wicks on days of high economic data releases, such as like the PPI, is actually a strategy I got from a guy called Dodgy DD on YouTube. You should really go check out his channel. This is it right here. He's got a lot of great free information, but I am using his one setup for life. So I'm going to be targeting data wicks. So in this case, the wick it left behind at that 8:30 1-minute candle, it got swept pretty early on. So this wick down here is the other data wick. It's not really extreme. I wouldn't like to target that one. So honestly, I'm just not going to trade today with the one setup for life. I normally start trading at 9:30 once the market opens. So it's currently 8:36. So I'm going to come back at 9:30. So I'm just going to go have some breakfast. But tomorrow is CPI. So I'm going to try one more time. So you're going to watch me trade CPI and try to use this setup tomorrow again. So it's a bit after 9:30 right now. This is the time that I start trading on a normal day if, like, let's say there's no economic data coming out in the morning. So I'm going to be trading all the way up until 3 p.m. I know that might sound like a long amount of time, but one of the ways I like deal with it is, let's say if there's nothing going on, I can just set alerts to certain areas. So I'll say, oh, once it reaches this area, I'm not interested up until then. So I'll set an alert. I won't look up until then because there's no point in watching price if I know there's nothing I'm going to do with it. So I'll set alerts, and then I have my speakers. I set the volume really high. Whenever an alert goes off, it's going to go off on my phone. The computer is also going to play a sound very loud from the speakers. And the third way that I look at the charts when I'm not at them is I just have my old phone that I used to use. So if, let's say, I go downstairs, I make myself some lunch, or I'm doing something in the house, I'm doing laundry, this allows me to just have that phone where I can just stare at the charts and say, oh, there's still nothing going on. I don't have to be occupied at the charts. So obviously, I have to give them like a fair amount of attention because I don't want to miss any setups, but I'm not going to be sitting here just at my setup for 6 hours just staring at these charts. So I'll update you with how I do today. Just finished trading, pretty midday overall. On my topstep 50K XFA, I took two separate trades. I won one and I lost one. I finished the day up like $200 in that account. And then I also took another trade today. I took that on an evaluation account because I wasn't too confident when I saw it and I lost that trade. So it's a good thing I took that on an evaluation account. But considering the amount of time that I sat in front of my computer, I'm surprised I didn't get more setups. I normally get more setups, but at least I was patient and I followed my plan and I didn't make any stupid mistakes. So that's always something to look at on the bright side. But you're probably wondering, why did I sit in front of my computer for this long? Well, if I work a part-time job, I don't get that much time where I can sit in front of the computer all day long. And if I know, if I backtest my strategy, if it's profitable up until 3 o'clock, I'm going to use every minute that I can to trade during my trading window where I know it's viable. So I just took all that time to trade, and now I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. So this is one of the days that I'm off, so I need to make use of my time very wisely. So obviously, I mean, I'm going to relax for a little bit, but before I get to bed tonight, I need to at least do something that's going to benefit me in the long run. Because those things, when you're sitting in your bed at night, you're like, oh, should I do that one extra task? Sometimes that one extra thing that you're thinking, oh, should I do that? It'll push you over the edge and give you a lot of benefit. So tonight, let's say, like, once I have my dinner and relax for a bit, I'm going to try to learn something, or I'm going to do some journaling, or I'll review my trades for the week, or at least something. So just always, before you go to bed at night, make sure you're just doing a little bit extra because it helps a lot. But I'm going to get into the rest of my day now. It's the end of the day right now. So the first thing I did once I finished trading, I actually took a quick 1 hour long nap because I was really tired. Once I woke up from that, I did some stuff around the house. I watched some YouTube videos, had some dinner. The YouTube videos I watched was just stuff to like motivate me. I was watching Cole Trades on YouTube. He's a lot younger than me, but it really motivates me to see the amount of money he's making and just the stuff he talks about. So I watched a couple of his videos, and also I met with the Discord group that I'm a part of because I've actually recently joined, not recently, I guess like maybe 4 months ago, I joined a Discord group, and I've actually gained a lot from it. I always thought that like maybe if you joined a Discord group, it would like, I figured everyone's trading journey is like personal to themselves, and there wouldn't be value in joining a community because I figured I'd become like dependent on them. But I've actually like learned a lot. So I met with that group for half an hour. We went over some stuff. And before I go to bed tonight, I'll probably watch some more stuff that would motivate me. For some reason, I was watching videos on like different nice apartments in like Manhattan and like New York City. So I guess before I go to bed, I'll probably watch some more videos like that to motivate me. But tomorrow I'm gonna take you with me for a day where I actually work. So it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna come with me for the whole day, except I actually have work tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, January 15th. So today is CPI day. I just finished up at the gym. I woke up at the same time as yesterday. I got to the gym the same time as yesterday. So right now it's a little before 8:30. I'm waiting for that CPI data to come out. So I'm going to see if I can get like a one setup for life. And if I can't, I have one like account where I trade that strategy solely. So I'm going to close out that account for the day, and I'll wait for more high impact news to come out to actually trade that account. And the rest of my accounts, I just use inversion fair value apps, and I target like 80 points of liquidity. So starting at 9:30, I'll do my trading as per regular. So I'll check back in with you once I'm done with my trading. So I just finished up at work. So when I traded today, I actually didn't do that well today either. I took one win and two losses, and my win wasn't big enough to cover both those losses. So it was kind of annoying. I had like two losing days back to back. But I mean, if you think about it, like last week, there were 4 trading days in the week, and I was positive like every single day. So I just gotta remember that because it's kind of frustrating to just have like day after day it's like not going my way. But that's just how trading is. I'll just keep playing out my edge over time. But so what I'm gonna do to finish up, I mean, all I'm gonna tell you is tonight what I'll be doing is I'm gonna do some back testing, honestly, because I'm not gonna act like I back test like every single night, like especially recently. Like, I haven't been doing as much as I should. But if I'm losing, I should be like putting that time in and doing my back testing. So I'm gonna make sure I at least do some back testing tonight. But oh, and also one other piece of advice, like, so think about it, like I went to the gym this morning, I traded this morning, I went to my job, then you come home, right? Those extra hours that you have, sometimes, like I was saying before, those extra hours are what really can make a huge difference. Because for example, that back testing, I could learn something tonight that could push me over the edge. And just like, you really don't understand how much like little things push you in the long term. But if you watched this all the way through, I hope you enjoyed. I'd really appreciate it if you give me a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. Have a great day.